We all have moments in life where we're faced with a choice to keep going the same way we always have or to say yes to something new, something better. I'm Kat, and this is Say Yes with Kat, a podcast about exploring holistic health, mind, body, and soul. Together, we'll uncover the practices, stories, and insights that can help you live a more vibrant and empowered life, full color. So, are you ready to say yes? Let's dive in.
Hey there, friends and beautiful humans. Welcome back to Say Yes with Kat, the show where we explore all things holistic health. Because let's be honest, adulting is hard, and our bodies deserve some love. Today, we're diving into something that changed my life, Rolfing. No, not Ralphing. I promise, no one's losing their lunch today. We actually have an expert guest, and she's going to explain how this deep bodywork technique can literally help you move better, stand taller, and feel amazing. This is the bodywork you did not know you needed. Let's start with a little rewind, coming back into time to a very young, spry, and totally invincible 28-year-old Kat. Plot twist, my body had other plans. I had made some questionable life choices that led to disc ruptures. I was a little clumsy on skis. I played soccer like I was training for the World Cup. I thought moving a hot tub was a good idea. And I kind of survived a few car accidents. My spine had literally become a scrapbook of trauma. But what finally took me out? Moving a coffee table. Yep, not a boulder, not a marathon, a coffee table. I went to move it out of the way, and suddenly my back decided to reenact a soap opera death scene, except I was the one on the floor. My next couple of years, pain, chiropractic appointments, physical therapy, massage, which was nice, but they were all still keeping me in pain. I wasn't finding anything sustainable. Then a friend mentioned Rolfing, and I was like, excuse me, you want me to do what? We talked a little more, and I finally realized she wasn't asking me to purge my lunch. I did a little bit of research, and let me tell you, Rolfing equals game changer. My very first session, I walked in looking like a duck. You know when your back hurts and you kind of arch your back and you got your butt stuck out, waddling around in pain? That was me when I walked in. An hour later, I was standing up like a human. It felt absolutely amazing. But what was even better was it was sustainable pain relief. It was not just a quick fix for the pain that I was in. Now, here I am over a decade later, and I'm still getting Rolfed. Why? Because it works. That's enough about my coffee and table life crisis. Now I want to hear from a real life expert. Today, I have Anne-Marie Gallant, a certified advanced rolfer with years of experience, helping people literally get their bodies back into alignment. Here's a quick fun fact about her. Not only is she amazing at helping a body be the best it can be, but she also knows how to put some massage into words. She studied creative writing in college and continues this passion with a regular jam session cranking out the haikus. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really happy you're here in Fredericksburg. How was the drive-in?
Just fine.
Yeah. I feel like we're getting a little lucky today with the weather. It's February and what is it, like 60, 70 degrees out there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're in the studio sweating with the oldies, but for our listeners, we're going to power through. Why don't we start with telling our listeners what exactly is Rolfing? And maybe they think it's a massage, so we can explain how it's a little bit different than that.
Rolfing is a methodology that was developed by a brilliant woman, Dr. Ida Rolf. That's where Rolfing comes from her last name. It's not the label that she wanted for the work. She named it structural integration. So you may sometimes encounter that, and that is also Rolfing. She developed this work in the mid-20th century, and she was very much ahead of her time in two significant ways. One, she paid attention to fascia. Fascia is very significant to our posture, our alignment, and when it's in trouble, it creates pain. So that was one thing that she tuned into very early. The other thing she paid attention to was how we relate with the gravitational field. Just like a fish doesn't know it's in water, we don't usually consider the effects of gravity on our structure, but gravity is always working on us and is affecting us. So it's different from a massage, not so much in how the work is done. It's more about the why. Why am I doing what I'm doing?
That is super informative. So what you're saying is this amazing woman, Ida, she feels gravity kind of pulling her down. She's like, oh, this is painful. How do I fix it? And she tuned into that question and started looking at our fascial tissues and how they impact our alignment. And she started doing body work that was intentionally focused on the fascia.
She began to reverse engineer how bodies work so that she could formulate an approach that could systematically reorganize a body in gravity.
I never thought how much my body communicates across the whole thing holistically. Imagine that. So what you're saying is maybe I'm out playing soccer and my knee hurts and I get a knee injury. You're saying that I may experience that injury all the way up through my body later in life?
Every aspect of your body is going to respond to this injury. There will be aspects of compensation, aspects of change in how you now contact the ground. Your gait will be different. Potentially, you will shift your weight away from a painful site, and that will change your alignment, and it will put stressors into your system in a different way. So you absolutely have to consider the whole body when you are treating a symptom.
That makes a lot more sense now. I know I've come in to get Rolfing before, and I've had a foot injury, and I walk out and suddenly I realize that, hey, my rib cage actually felt kind of clunky when I was moving and my arms weren't really moving. I went in to have my foot fixed, but I walk out like with this whole new body. Is that pretty common with these sessions?
If we're doing it right, yes.
Yeah. Well, I can tell from experience, you definitely do it right. I really enjoy it. Speaking of the fact that I come in and have Rolfing sessions with you, maybe we should share a little bit about what these Rolfing sessions are like.
So one of the major ways it's different from a massage is we spend more time with assessment. So typically with a massage, the therapist leaves the room while you get undressed and to your level of comfort and get on the table. In a Rolfing session, you will get undressed to your underwear, or if that's too uncomfortable for you, we can modify that a bit to shorts and a top that you're comfortable in. The idea is to be able to see as much as possible of your structure, because I do a lot of visual assessment. I literally have you stand and I look at how you are holding yourself in space. Do you have rotations? Are you shifting your weight to one side? Is one shoulder elevated? Is there a twist in your neck? Those kinds of things. I will also ask you to walk. Sometimes it's as useful to see what doesn't move as what is moving. And also just I'm trained to assess how you're moving. Once you're on the table, I might ask you to lay on your side or to even sit up or just to collaborate with me with position so that we can access not only the tissue that we might be working on, but again, understanding that this ripples throughout your structure. And so while I'm working on your upper body, it is useful sometimes to have you in a position that will feed throughout your whole structure.
Yeah, I know there's been times I've come in, usually with a back issue, and you'll have me kind of go into this bridge position while I'm on the table and ask me to move my hips up, but to do it from my feet. And as weird as that sounds, when I'm there with you and you're sort of coaching me through the movement, it's almost like you're retraining my body. No. We don't move from this place of pain. We move from this foundation. It's been really great learning more about my body through these Rolfing sessions. Now, some people have mentioned to me that they're worried Rolfing might hurt. Could you share a little bit about that with some of our more hesitant listeners?
Unfortunately, most people, if they've heard of Rolfing at all, a very large percentage have heard that it's painful. I think this is an artifact of an earlier time where people watched Dr. Rolf get amazing change, and they mistakenly thought that there was a level of force coming to play, and there really wasn't. If you can be specific with your contact, you really don't need to bully the body into change. I've also come to understand that when people are in pain, it's very natural for them to resist that and to tighten in response. And so it's not useful for you, the client, or me, the practitioner, to have that going on. You're working hard to keep me out. I'm working hard to try to get in. We're both working hard. Nothing's getting done. It's much better if you're relaxed and can accept the level of sensation that the work is evoking.
Is that why you tell me to breathe into it sometimes?
Breath is very helpful in modulating your level of sensation, and breath also nourishes the tissue. It's a resource that helps your body heal.
Oh, so it's like free massage oil during my Rolfing. Got it. I love it. So we all know my history, right? I made all those crazy decisions, super clumsy. I don't know what I was thinking moving a hot tub around. That's my history and how I came to Rolfing. But who else should consider Rolfing, right? Who can benefit from this type of structural work?
Any human. I'm biased, of course. I think Rolfing is very special work, and it's very creative and adaptable to a wide variety of circumstances. Most people do consult me initially because of an injury or some kind of pain. However, there are a percentage of people over the years who are a little more proactive. They're recognizing that their posture is beginning to not be what they want, that in this day with too much sitting, all the tech work, computers and things, it's unfortunately having an effect where many of us are having forward head, collapsed chest, back issues from bad chairs, those kinds of things.
That goes all the way into our organs, right?
It does.
Like when we're sort of in this like curved, caveman posture, it messes with our organs, because I've noticed changes for myself. My breathing gets kind of tight. My stomach's a little upset. I don't feel like my digestion works as well. And that's one of the reasons why I've continued with this, is to maintain that posture, because I feel it holistically through my entire body.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our body is an amazingly intelligent system that is recording everything that happens to us. Our body is right there for. So our emotional states, mental stress and tension, worry, everything that's going on in our life, our body is taking those hits, absorbing that stress.
So basically my body has a diary that it's writing down everything that it doesn't enjoy about me, and it's hiding it underneath the bed until I come in to see you.
Well,
yeah.
Perhaps. Well, one cliche in the bodywork world is that people take their cars for regular maintenance, but, they don't consider that their bodies might need consistent, regular care. And regular is different for each person. People's finances and their schedules certainly affect their ability to receive work, and that's all fine. You do what you can do. But I definitely believe that regular body work is not a luxury, that it's something that will help you maintain good health.
So it's kind of like an investment, right? If I don't want to be out hundreds of thousands of dollars down the road in medication and surgeries. One of the ways I could avoid that could be investing now into Rolfing and also improve my quality of life now.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you tell somebody who is considering getting Rolfing and curious? How do they go about finding a Rolfer in their area?
So the Rolf Institute has a website, rolf.org. There is a menu that has Find a Rolfer. So anybody can go there, click on that, put in their state or their town, and hopefully you'd be able to find one. I would say to anybody, just try it. Any Rolfer will let you just have a session and see what you think.
So let's talk about that for a moment. When I first started, I went to see a Rolfer because I was in acute pain. After a few sessions with them, they started to talk to me about a 1 through 10 series. Mm-hmm. What is this?
So this was traditionally the way that the work was done. Dr. Rolf, as I said, really studied how the body worked, and she designed a series of goals that she felt, if followed in the correct order, could lead to a kind of complete overhaul of your structure and a realignment with the gravitational field. So she identified these goals, and that is the classic way to experience Rolfing. I think it's the best way because it is systematic. Some people are intimidated at the thought of committing that big of an investment.
I know, I definitely was, not only financially, but time. So making the time to go in and see my Rolfer 10 times in a row. And the sessions are also scheduled kind of close together. I think I went every other week for this 10 series. But what I found was later, after I did the 10 series, my body would remember that foundation. Mm-hmm. So my future sessions, I might go once or twice a year because that foundation was already established and set. So when you work on me, I feel like my body's very responsive and goes, oh, yep. Let me check my diary. Yes. Okay. This is what we're supposed to do now.
A good Rolfing session is basically reminding the body of its factory settings. And then, yes, you can reference that because that's what your body wants. We want to be open and free in our range of movement. We want to breathe well and easily. So once we create the conditions, yes, your body will like to return and reference that state.
That is an absolutely gorgeous way to put it. Return my body to its factory settings and create some space for everything else. That's perfect. I really appreciate you joining me today. Are there any last words you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Please consider treating your body to something. Rolfing would be great, but something that will return to it some of the care that it, I think, so richly deserves. Our bodies do so much for us.
Thank you so much. All right, friends, I hope you learned something new today. I know I did. If you're curious about Rolfing, check out Anne-Marie's work. Check out the website she mentioned. We'll put both of those links in our show notes. And remember, if you feel like a creaky old door when you move, maybe your body just needs a little structural love. Next time, we're talking about another cool way to support your health. Stay tuned. Before you leave, please like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, this is your journey. It's all about taking these small, meaningful steps towards a healthier, happier you. Full color. Until next time, say yes to your well-being and take care.